Yo, and welcome to the MixWizard Sessions episode 4. Thanks for everyone who tuned in last week, and yeah, thanks if you're watching this episode. So, hopefully it's been informative, and hopefully it's helping you to unpack some skills and things that you didn't know about mixing. In today's episode, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to go in, I'm going to answer some questions from last week that came up. So I've been looking at the questions that anyone's been putting up on YouTube, or some people have been sending me on Facebook. So I'm going to address those questions in the episode today. So the questions I had was bus routing on SQ. So just, how do I assign things to and from buses? And also a bit of the parallel compression stuff. So I'm going to talk about that. The other question that came up was vocal processing. What have I got going on my vocals? So I'm going to show you that. I will also do a dedicated vocal processing one going into a lot more depth, but I'll show you the reverbs and delays. The question was specifically about reverb delays. So I'll show you what I've got going on in this mix because this is what we've been working on so far. One thing I'll say about bus processing, so I'll look at the bus processing first. When you're doing parallel compression, you've always got to keep things in the same time, okay? So in this, and I'll show you, I've got all of my drums going to the band group, and then I've got the kicks and snares going to a secondary group, audio group, and then they go to left-right. So all the channels don't go to left-right, they go to the groups, and from the groups they go to left-right, and then from left-right they go to the matrices, and we'll look at this. You've got to keep those path lengths the same. So I inserted, and I'll show you, on the band group I put a multi-band compressor. I had to put the same multi-band compressor on the squash group to keep the time domain the same. Okay, if you're ever getting this weird phasey noise, okay, on your stuff, when you're trying parallel compression, you've probably got something wrong and you're not in the same time domain, okay? So you got to keep everything the same. So I normally put every bit of processing, I keep identical on those paths. So let's jump in and have a look. So what I've got going on, okay, so let's first off look at the channels, and I'm going to go to the routing page, okay? So first off, we're looking at kick, and you'll notice it's turned off to the main left-right, okay? And if I go to snare, kick out, all of the channels, I've turned them off to the main left-right. So this is found in the routing page, okay? So the channels are not going straight to our main mix anymore. They're going to our groups. So if I go look at my band group here, cool, my kicks, all of my channels, let me go find the right thing, that's my band group. All of my drum channels are going to the band group as I scroll through them here. Now, I've got my squash group down here, which is my parallel compression, okay? So if we go and look, the kick's going there, kick in, kick out, snare, snare, hi-hat is not going there, the toms are not going there, and the overhead is not going there. Now, the toms is a bit of one, different people have different opinions on this, okay? Most of the time, I don't put the toms into my squash group. I leave it just for kicks and snares. Sometimes I will put the toms in there. Okay, so this is up to you to be creative with and experiment. Okay, I know some guys that always put the toms in, some guys that don't. You try and see what works for you. I tend to like the toms not in the squash group, because I'm trying to create this really beefy kick and snare, and I find I don't like the artifacts that I get with the toms in the group. Okay, same thing. Put your overheads into the squash group and try it. I'm pretty sure that's the sound you're not after. Okay, it's not awesome. It makes your overheads go and pump in like out of control. So there's reasons why you don't put things in and out of the squash group. But play. Create your own sound. That's what this is all about. So, the groups, let's go have a look at our group now. Okay, if I select the group is going to main left-right, okay? So if I go back down to my mains, so the band group is going to the left-right, and the squash group is going to the left-right. Okay, so this is our routing process, okay? Now, as I also said, go down to this page, my mains, if I have a look at my mains fader, and then I've got my matrices here, and you can see them, PA, my mains are going to all of the matrices. It's on, and I've got the stream, if you remember from when we were looking at this, my stream is turned up 3 dB, so the left-right is going 3 dB louder to the stream. Cool? So, let's have a quick look at the processing again, just to refresh our memories. And this is what I was saying. You'll see here I've got an insert on the band group, okay? EQ, compressor. So I've got to keep these the same. So when I go to the squash group, I've got the same insert, okay? And when I go to the effects here, I've got a multiband BD4, okay? And that is on the band. And then I'm sure I have another one down here, which is on the squash, okay? So as soon as you use one of these effect slots in a band, in a group that you're doing parallel compression, you need to put it on the matching group that you are doing the parallel with. Cool? I hope that's been helpful. Vocal effects. So looking at the vocal effects, and we'll jump in on this song, I've got a reverb, I've got a delay, and then I'm using a bit of, it's a pitch, it's the ADT, the widening, and it specifically makes the vocals wider. So let's have a little look at what I've got going on, okay? I'm just going to jump here to my thing. Now one thing, I'm going to play the vocals and the acoustic guitar. Never leave the vocals out on their own. So in a church scenario, and I find this, when you're sound checking vocals, don't leave them, or any scenario, don't leave the vocals out on their own. Leave the keyboard or the something else up in the PA. Don't just leave the vocals out there hanging on their own. Sometimes it's not the greatest. So these guys are actually doing great. You know, these guys sound great, but I'm still keeping the acoustic in there, okay? So let's have a look at what's going on. So I've got some vocals, and let's look at our vocal effects that we've got going. So I've got a vocal verb, delay, and a wide. So let's have a quick look at them. Okay, I'm going to mute the other two effects. This is just the reverb. Reverb off. Dry. With the effects. I'm going to push it a bit harder. You can hear it's a pretty short reverb, okay? I'll play it again for you. Verb off. Reverb on. Now, I'm using this reverb just to widen the vocals and just make them a bit fatter. I don't want a massive reverb that they're going to be swimming in, you know, like an Olympic pool. It's just, you know, it's just a nice small reverb. I'm using the EMT 250. I really like it. You'll notice I've pulled the high cut right down, get rid of any sibilants and any of that kind of stuff. So I'm on about 1.5 with some pre-delay. We'll have another quick listen. Verb off. Verb on. Cool. Let's have a look at my delay now. Just the delay. So I'm using the delay underneath just to get a bit of depth and just to extend note values, okay? So that, you know, the notes are rolling along. I've just got it tapped in time and it's just rolling along. I'm going to do another whole one on going way more in depth on this. Nothing crazy with the settings. It's pretty mono on the delay, okay? Again, taking some top end away so we don't get any of those sibilance bits, okay? So the last thing I've got going on is this ADT, okay? And I'll show you the plugin and explain what I'm doing first. It's in quad track mode, okay? Super thick. and super wide. I'm using this. When you add this, it takes the vocal from sitting in the middle of the mix to also pushing it to the edges, okay? So let's have a listen to what's going on. I'm gonna make it
See your name in the dark and it changes everything. We sing with all we are and we claim your victory.
So you can hear that it's taking the vocals, and I'm using it a bit too much, and it's making the vocals big and wide. I really like it, and I quite often I'll put the BVs in it more than the lead vocal, and so we've only got 2 vocals here. So let's put all these elements together. Okay, so
Let it rise, let praise arise.
delay should be back here somewhere.
See your name in the dark and it changes everything.
All vocal effects off.
We sing with all we are and we claim your victory. Let it rise.
Cool. So there's nothing crazy I'm doing with effects, apart from you may have never have looked at the widener box, the ADT. There's various types of ways. You could just use a chorus unit, okay? I really love that ADT processing. I love what it does. In DLive, we'll actually have a look at DIM-D because I really love what the DIM-D does. So I hope that's been really helpful. So please keep asking questions and I will do my best to include those. What I'm thinking at this stage is, yeah, at the beginning of each week, I'll do my best to answer your questions and yeah, have a bit of discussion about some of the things that you raise. Hey, hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see you tomorrow for another video. And yeah, and on the end of this video, I'm going to tack on, we've got a special message from Ampercam, and yeah, see you tomorrow.
Greetings, Amper fans. It's Cam here. Just come back from tour, and with a bit of spare time on my hands, thought I'd catch up with my old mate, the MixWizard. Tell you what, Wiz, those sessions are really sounding fat. Good work. Seriously, people, how good are these videos? Awesome stuff. Now, you're not wrong, Wiz. There sure is a lot to unpack. I've just come back from the road, so I'm doing a little unpacking myself, so don't mind me. Standard issue, black tea, can't go wrong, can't be gaffed, can't be done, don't like it, talk to the end. Just pulling random things out of my suitcase here. Oh, what have we got there? A little leftover rider action. We'll save that one for later. What is here? Okay, yep, all the necessary things you need out on the road. And there we go, another one of these. You can never have enough of these bad boys. I cannot stress that enough. It's important to look the part whilst out on the job. Now, I'll tell you what though, while I was out there, Wiz, I certainly could have used your help with some of your magical tips. Certainly would have helped me with some of my mixes. Well, guys, be sure to follow the MixWizard sessions, and you too can be part of this great experience and learn some really beneficial things to help with your mix. If you're lucky, you may even get to see me again. Now, let's see the hands in the air if you'd like to see that, guys. Anyway, it's time for me to head back to the studio and lay down some tracks. So, be kind to each other and be sure to listen to the MixWizard. This is Ampercam, dropping in on the MixWizard sessions. Don't forget to wash your hands. See you guys.